when we're having a difficult conversation with employees or dealing with a difficult situation with an employee, it's more than natural to do one or two things, and that's fight or flight. And in this case, if you're in a flight mode, it's very easy to blame yourself for the other person's behavior, to become a victim, to kind of shrink up, and instead of facing the situation with confidence and a positive approach, becoming more of a shrinking violet. That is more of a flight response. The second would be more of a fight response, where while having a difficult conversation, you tend to be aggressive, combative, and put blame on the other person. Neither one is a good recipe for dealing with a difficult employee or difficult situation, because it puts people at odds and it puts people in a position where they're responding emotionally as opposed to coming from a place of confidence, of compassion, opportunity, any one of those adjectives instead. Well, the first thing to do is to acknowledge what's going on and what's going on with you, and why are you as a manager reacting? Is it a conflict with your values that you're having, and as a result you're reacting emotionally? For example, could it be that your values are in conflict? Maybe you believe in hard work. Maybe you believe in coming to work every day and on time. Any number of those different values could be in conflict if you are working with an employee who doesn't share those same values. Well, sometimes, once we've reframed and we've moved out of an area of being emotional, we may move to a level of rationalizing the situation as managers and just saying, well, it is what it is, and rather than approaching it from an area of anger. So this level of energy and this level of interaction is an opportunity to take a step back, and it's a bit of a reframe into more of a positive frame of mind. Well, another reframe would be to move to a mindset of compassion. Maybe something is going on with the employee that we're not aware of, that we haven't taken the time to explore. Perhaps the reason why they're late or they're not paying attention is due to the fact that they are having some issues, some family issues going on at home, and they're not able to focus. Another way to approach it is to come from a position of problem solving, looking at an issue from a problem perspective and trying to come up with alternatives and solutions, and looking at the issue as an opportunity as opposed to a hindrance. It takes a different mindset to shift to that, but that could be a way to resolve an issue with a difficult employee or having a difficult conversation. And still there's another approach, and that is coming from a win-win mindset, where you have a sense, just based on your experience, of what might be going on. You don't want to make assumptions, but if you're doing active listening, if you're watching for body language, if you're looking for patterns, and if you've known the employee for some time and you've seen some change in behavior, it may be an indication for you as to what might be going on as you approach the employee who's suddenly made a shift, or you're in a situation where you're having a difficult conversation. Before we get to that, it's important to remember to come from a position of win-win. That, in other words, to be non-judgmental. Don't tell your own story. Don't make up your own story. Focus on instead of what's going on at hand. Now, to have this conversation, it's very important to be in a private area, to remove yourself and to remove the employee or the difficult employee from the workplace, so there's a sense of privacy, so to help minimize any adverse reactions, and to have a conversation, be it a performance problem, be it a personality conflict, be it some type of a dispute within the office. It's important to pull back and to find out, to do some active listening, to listen to what their side of the story is. And more importantly, as they tell you what's going on, to acknowledge what they said by using phrases like, well, you know, that makes sense that you would have gotten upset because you got into an accident on the way to work this morning, and therefore you were late. Or it makes sense that one of your team members didn't come through with their assignment, and as a result, it's put you behind. So doing some active listening, spending some time to validate their experience, and then working towards a common goal. It may be, though, that their performance over time cannot be corrected. And if that's the case, that has to be dealt with accordingly. But the overall goal is one where you're trying to get to a position that is amiable to all parties.